calm before a storm. This metaphor refers to a period of unusual quiet that precedes a moment of great activity or disturbance. In the world of multiplayer shooters, not many games capture that feeling well. Games like Call of Duty utilize quick respawn times and smaller maps to provide the player with constant stimulation, leading to lots of intense moments at the expense of tense moments. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. I usually play action-packed shooters myself, and I know it's not like there aren't any multiplayer shooters that try to slow things down. I mean, just look at Valorant and CSGO. But for me personally, those games never really managed to capture that tense feeling in a way that was satisfying. So I stuck to games like Fortnite and Overwatch, and that was that. Until... Okay. Are you in, what floor are you on?
I'm on top floor.
Okay. He's on me. Yeah, Arc Raiders happened. Arc Raiders is a multiplayer extraction shooter developed by Embark Studios, and it completely blew me away when I played it for the first time. Everything about it was immersive, on a level I haven't experienced from a game in what feels like forever. So what makes this game immersive, and how does that immersion create tension? Arc Raiders takes place on a post-apocalyptic Earth where robotic creatures called Arc roam the abandoned streets with the sole goal of taking you out. Now, let me propose a question. How do these AI enemies differ from the AI enemies in another extraction shooter, Escape from Tarkov? In Tarkov, there are various types of AI enemies that roam the map with the goal of killing you. There's even bosses that occasionally spawn in and drop high-tier loot when killed. Fundamentally speaking, these enemies serve the same purpose the Arcs do, which is making extraction from the map more difficult, but there's one obvious difference between the two games' enemies. The Arc are robots, which means they get to sound like this. Where is it? Okay.
Make it run.
I'm going. Oh no, bro! Oh no! Ah! Okay, my bad for tweaking out, but that was terrifying. Having robots as enemies gives the developers the freedom to create way more varied and intimidating sounds than they would with human enemies. The mechanical stomps of a bastion waiting outside your building. The computerized beeps of a snitch detecting your presence. These audio cues are grimy and unnatural. They just sound like bad news. And not only do they sound like bad news, they are bad news. A few of the robots, namely the Rocketeer and Bastion, are sometimes more terrifying to deal with than actual players. And the Queen? That thing is an Avengers level threat. Even if you're halfway across the map watching it murder other raiders, it will still find a way to fuck you up. Oh, this guy's running. You see that guy? He's running away. We won't be able to shoot him.
I wanna see.
What the fuck was that?
Is that coming towards us? Is that coming towards us?
Nuh-uh.
Dude! All of this is to say, the Arc being so powerful creates tons of moments where you're forced to hide and wait for them to pass before making your move. This constant game of cat and mouse, listening for the Arc and doing your best to avoid them, is one of the reasons why the game builds tension so well. But there's more to it than just that. When games don't have enough sound effects for certain actions, you end up hearing the same thing multiple times in a single play session. This can instantly pull you out of an immersive experience because in real life, nothing sounds exactly the same twice. Arc Raiders largely gets around this problem with its dynamic audio system. For example, if you're standing in a building, your gun sounds like this. And if you're outside, your gun sounds like this. These effects apply to every sound in the game. And I know this is a big claim to make, but I think it's the best dynamic audio system I've heard in any game. Just listen to this clip of my friends and I trying to sneak around when suddenly someone starts shooting on the other side of a wall.
Oh my god, that's so like immersive.
There are so many layers of detail added to the gunshot audio. The wall between him and us muffles the sound, while the concrete walls of the room we're in make it echo. but you can still tell he's close because of the defined pop sound each shot has. You can tell by how we reacted that this had a major effect on us. When things sound so good, it's easier to get lost in the world, and when you get lost in the world, your feelings get amplified. Every kill and death, every cat and mouse game with the Ark, it all feels more exhilarating and tension building. Alright, so we cover the game's sound effects and dynamic audio, but what about the music? Well, just like the game's dynamic audio, the music is also dynamic, and it works extremely well. To give a quick disclaimer, I'm not actually 100% sure what triggers the music to play, and because no one can play the game right now, it's really hard to find information on that. So this is just my best guess of how it works. When you load into a fresh game, there's typically no music playing, and usually it stays that way as you go about exploring your first few buildings. However, as the round goes on, you will inevitably run into Ark, and potentially have to take down a couple drones. This is the first instance where I noticed music could start playing. After downing the drone and going to loot its body, a very faint, eerie song started playing in the background. Take a listen. This is what I'd like to call, for lack of a better term, background music. This type of music seems to play when you're sneaking around or breaking into containers. In fact, if we go back and boost the audio of that clip of an enemy shooting on the other side of a wall, we can actually hear some of this background music setting the tone. This makes me think that the game is actively checking the position of your character and using that information to decide when to play songs. Leading up to that clip, you can see that my entire squad was crouch walking slowly and aiming down sights at every angle because we thought we heard some footsteps. I think the game takes note that we're all doing this and starts playing eerie sounds in the background to set the mood. This works really well, and the crazy part is I usually don't actively notice the music in the moment because it's so quiet. But as I went through my footage, I noticed that when these songs start playing, I stop making as many jokes and focus more on what's happening in the game. It might just be a coincidence, but I think there's a real chance my subconscious mind starts picking up on the melody of these tracks and tells my brain to lock in. Pretty cool stuff. Now, the other type of music in the game is what I'll call action music. Why am I hearing evil music?
Because you only have 3 minutes.
These songs seem to kick in if you're trying to extract, if there's a lot of Ark around you during that extraction, or, as Pierce just pointed out, when there's not much time on the clock. This type of music only seems to play sometimes because I've had a few extractions when there's a lot of Ark around but no music plays, but when it does play, the pressure is on. I'll just let this clip speak for itself.
Uh-oh, this is a little interesting spot.
I don't know how I feel about this location. The music just got loud again. Fuck! I think they saw me or they saw someone else. It's about to open.
You gotta run the frick in there.
What if there's other people nearby?
Oh! You gotta get in there, bro. Oh! Oh!
Come on! Come on! Come on! Yes! Yes! Clearly, an incredible amount of thought and care has gone into the development of this game. Every person I invited to this playtest loved the game just as much as I did, and we're all very excited to see what Embark Studios announces tomorrow at the Summer Games Fest. Leave a like and subscribe for more Ark Raiders videos.